Hello readers and writers, I'm MJ, and today we're going to be doing the writer's ritual tag. So this is an older writer tag. It was first started by Kim Chance and Mandy Lin. It looks like Kim Chance's video is no longer on YouTube, but I will be linking to Mandy Lin's video down below, as well as providing all of the questions that I'm going to be answering. So the tag has a total of 10 questions that I just kind of ask about your writing life, and I thought it would be a good way to start to get to know me as a writer. The first question is, when do you write? And if you're following on my channel, you probably have noticed that I have live streams on Tuesday and Thursday, and right now that is when I write. I don't tend to write outside of these hours, and my plan is to probably increase to have another live stream in the weekend. And why I'm doing that way is it kind of gives me set like office hours, so that I can think about when I'm writing and think about and then don't have to stress about it all of the time. And partly this is a neurodiversity hack that I need, so that I don't perseverate on my writing. Also, since I work from home during the day, also it's a way of separating writing time from my day job time, and kind of switching between the two tasks, since I do tend to write in the same space that I work on my day job. So it's a way for me to say, hey, I'm no longer working here, I'm now working on my writing, and it's working out very well for me. I do very well with the timed, focused writing, and so I plan to keep that up for the foreseeable future, with the exception that I do really want to get a third writing sprint in, but I'm not quite there yet, I think. And question 2, how do you schedule yourself from the outside world? And I think I kind of answered this in question 1. Is the reality is I don't. I actually bring the outside world in with me while I'm writing. So having people there while I'm writing, kind of holding me accountable to make sure I'm staying on task while it's writing time, and then kind of turning writing into a more social experience while we're taking breaks in between the writing. So for me, I actually enjoy writing not being quite as solo an activity and doing it with other people, and it's really helped me stay focused on, and also hold me accountable to my writing time. Question 3, how do you review what you wrote the previous day? And I don't always, so I really like working on revising a chapter at a time. So, I feel like a lot of writing prompts talk about how you write, it's only the first draft. But the first draft is the smallest part of the novel. You go in, you get the first draft done, and then it's really the rewriting and the editing process that takes up the majority of getting the novel ready. And so I really try to focus when I write on getting a chapter finished and ending on the end of a chapter. Sometimes I may just have to go back to the next chapter and review what I wrote. Sometimes I do stop in the middle, and then I'll just go review the last little bit, and then go take on from there. I do think that by writing consistently, it does help remember what you did previously to then go get, so you don't have to feel like you're getting caught up when you write. Question 4 is, what song is your go-to when you write? So I don't typically write with music if I'm writing off live stream, and when I'm writing on live stream, it tends to be classical stuff that is that you can post on YouTube. So there's a lot of Beethoven on the timers that I use, and those are kind of be what I listen to while I write also. I can't listen to anything with words or that, because it really confuses me. Not confuses, but really distracts me. That's the better way to put it. Where if it's just kind of, instrumental, then I can kind of tune it out, because I would probably prefer to write in complete silence than to write with something playing. Question 5, what do you always do? So I write consistently at the same time. Currently that's 6:30 p.m. every Tuesday and Thursday. And so my brain knows that this is writing time, and I go start the live stream and I know that I need to get focused on my writing. There was a little bit of adjustment when I first started, but now that I've been doing it, it's great because you just kind of had that mentality, okay, now I get to focus on writing. And it's just so much easier to like push everything out because none of those things matter at that time. It's writing time. And so what I always do is I'll go log into my computer, I'll get everything set up, I'll start the live stream, and then I will start working. Question 6 is, when do you find yourself struggling with writer's block? And I would say there's different types of writer's block. There's one type where you just don't feel motivated to write. And what I do then is I just write. I go sit down and get past that first word, and then once I do that, then it keeps progressing. Like, I can keep going. So as long as I get started, then I can continue on. But sometimes the hardest part is just sitting down to do the work, which is why, again, I like having the consistent schedule. Then there is when you get stuck in like a plot of the novel, like something's just quite not working out in the flow, and then I like to step back and think about it and just kind of let my brain process it almost in the background, or just like as I go about my day, and then kind of it will work itself out. I mean, it doesn't magically work itself out. It's because you're sitting there thinking about it, and then you kind of come up with the solution, and then you can go keep writing. Question 7 is, what tools do you use when you're writing? I use my laptop, and I use Scrivener. I have transitioned over to Scrivener and my laptop, and then that's really all I need. I do have a writer's journal, an actual paper notebook that I'll put some notes in, or I'll work some things out on. Question 8 is, what's the one thing you can't live without during a writing session? And I think this goes back to my laptop, because that's the one thing I need to actually have when I write. Beyond that, like, I don't have to have a certain type of drink, anything like that. I don't have to be in a certain space. I just really have to have my laptop and my story. Question 9 is, how do you fuel yourself during a writing session? Typically just water. I have my water bottle and I'll drink that throughout. I don't usually use anything else or eat anything else or that, just water. And then usually after my writing session, I'll go actually eat dinner. And the last question, question 10, how do you know when you're done writing? I know when I'm done writing because instead of there being big major changes to the novels, it comes to be more like word semantics. So like it becomes to like, oh, do I change this word to this or this word to that? I don't think there's ever a point where you can't continue to make changes to your novel. At some point you just have to call it, I'm going to stop. And you just have to be confident that you've caught as many grammar errors as possible, that everything flows as well as possible, and that you did a good job as you possibly could, and that you're proud of what you put out. But you could go on drafting a novel forever, and I think some people do get stuck in that. So you do have to finally call it quits. And I usually do that after it's been through several different editing. Now that I'm working on my 3rd book, I have a general idea of what I need as an author, what feedback I need to polish it, and how many drafts I need to do. And I think that will get even more succinct the more I publish. So thank you for joining me today. I hope you got to know a little bit more about my writing process, and I would love to know about your writing process. So let me know in the comments below, or if you've done this tag, go ahead and share your video with me. And as always, keep writing, keep reading, and until next time.